No, because why did we not hear a single thing from Chelsea and Jimmy? Did we all watch the same thing and just witness the erasure of Chelsea and Jimmy's whole entire relationship? Like, I understand they got asked a few questions, but we don't even know if Chelsea and Jimmy are together. What the heck? Like, I was watching this thinking, like, are they kidding? Like, at the last 15 minutes, thinking to myself, why are they asking all these people that we don't care about all these questions and we haven't got to Jimmy and Chelsea? What the heck? Okay, my name is your Seneca. Welcome to my casual YouTube channel. This is where I talk everything casual or monumental in relation to life and life's events, life's TV shows, media, pop culture, what the heck ever. I'm going to be talking about Love is Blind, the reunion, and I just had to start off saying what the heck happened to Chelsea and Jimmy, because Chelsea and Jimmy are arguably Netflix's most entertaining couple. Like, you want to watch them to kind of like hate watch them, you know? And the fact that we got no updates, it makes you think, like, what the heck was that? It feels intentional that they're maybe being silenced. Were they silent or were they silenced? Because I felt very much like they were silenced, because Netflix should have, instead of asking about like Micah and Izzy and the pregnancies, why don't we know about the people on this show? I am annoyed. Literally call this reunion literally a 13-year-old boy because the ball was dropped. Literally, what the heck? That's the most dad joke I've ever made in my life. I really am debating if I just want to delete this whole entire video. Okay, so we're gonna go through the reunion kind of like note by note that I made. I'm gonna be looking over to like see what I wrote down. Just gonna go scene by scene. I just watched the reunion, so I don't even know what public opinion is. I don't know what the heck people are talking about that stands out. I don't know if I'm gonna miss something that's like relevant, but I'm just gonna talk about what the heck stood out to me. So we start off with Nick and Vanessa Lachey being like, "Oh my God, we're in the pods," and they're talking, and they do this like creative thing where they come out onto the stage with a reveal and then are speaking to an audience. I thought that was pretty cool. I think that they're getting a little bit more and more creative as the seasons go on, and I really did appreciate that one. Netflix, you really did your thing with that. I love the whole like stage idea with them being in the studio that I guess they filmed in. Who knows if that's real, but I also love the fact that like whenever everybody came out, it was from the reveal. Like that was, I need to stop talking about that. So we see past stars in the audience, and we're wondering where the heck is the original pair that we were all rooting for, Lauren and Cam. I don't know why we would bring on like these other random people if we don't have Lauren and Cam, but it's fine. Don't cry over spilled milk. Like it just is weird seeing everybody just hearing the Kwame laugh in the back. So we catch up. The first thing that we do is catch up with Amy and Johnny. Who like cares? Like, do we really care? I feel like we kind of don't. But nevertheless, they gotta ask. I guess they have like a sweet little montage. But then I was just thinking, like, can we get into the tea though? Like, let's get into the tea. So they start with something that I feel like they should have ended with, but whatever. They start with the Jimmy, Laura, and Sarah and tea, the triangle. Vanessa says, "Why did you lie about your location? What the heck was that?" And then he comes up with this script that he's given us this whole entire time. I was nothing inappropriate happened. Nothing inappropriate happened. Just like it just is weird that he's very much stuck on that. The whole nothing inappropriate happened. Okay, but inappropriate means different things to different people, and then also like you're lying. So then Vanessa like, yeah, I think that somebody else keeps challenging him on it, and Laura calls in and she's like, "Yeah, you're a liar." And then the whole entire audience is like, everybody is like, the cameramen are like, Laura's like, you know, weird. You could probably cut that tension with a butcher's knife, for real. And everyone's like, you know what? And I think that Nick and Vanessa are like, does anybody else like want to give opinions? Everybody's like, I'm gonna be quiet on this one. I have enough to deal with. Interesting. So then we see the never before seen footage, which should have been aired earlier. Like, literally just replace all of Amy and Johnny's scenes with the never before seen footage earlier, because it's like, I understand that they want the reunion to be good, and I get potentially why the producers could wait to showing that later. Well, maybe it's not the producers, maybe it's the editors, right? But what? I just wish we'd seen that earlier, but I'm happy that we got it at least. So we see that Sarah Ann is basically just kind of explaining, like, listen, I had feelings for your man. I did. We were all in this process. I left things unsaid. I needed to save them, so I said them. And the whole, like, let me know if the door is still open was not meant to be disrespectful, but I am sorry that it hurt your feelings. So yeah. And then Laura's like, listen, I found it to be disrespectful. I'm just gonna let you know that I asked him if he was gonna pick you after everything ended, or after, if I had not said yes to him, or if he, whatever. Basically, I asked if it was gonna be you at any point, and he said no. So honestly, watch your back. He's not to be trusted. He's weird, dude. Be careful. And then literally she just threw all of that advice and just, like, didn't even take it. And honestly, this whole situation turned out to be fine, because Jeremy and Sarah Ann are cut from the same cloth. Like, I just see them kind of being the same, like, type of people that want to get themselves out of sticky situations, the type of people that, like, don't say anything real to each other, the type of people that are like, nah, whatever, like, I'll live my life with no consequences, and, like, I don't want somebody to keep me like, if they found each other, they found each other. Everything really did turn out for the best for everybody. And the fact that Laura left the show likable is insane. Something like this needed to happen. Not saying that she's likable in her personality, but she's likable in the way that we feel bad for her in this situation. And if this didn't happen, I think people would have hated her and she would have been more of a villain. So, and then also Sarah Ann are just like, it feels weird because everybody's like really targeting Sarah Ann and Jeremy. They're just fighting for their lives. Not in the way that they look uncomfortable or anxious. They look like they're handling the criticism fine. But it's just like weird to see two people so unself-aware and so defensive and so, like, just kind of in another world, to where they're like, to where even Sarah Ann's like, you know what, you're a pick-me. How is Laura a pick-me when you were the one who basically was like, if the door's open, you can pick me? I don't get it. Rehashing old things, sorry, let me keep going. And then Sarah Ann is accused of spoiling the show because in Jeremy's house, I guess she says, listen, we did our jobs, you were entertained, and we didn't miss, baby. She just is really fascinating to me in the way that it's like, there is nothing up there but just provoking everybody. Like, the intent to provoke everybody, the intent to, like, be a reckless kind of villain. I feel like, I don't know. And that's honestly the truest thing that has been said. You were entertained and we didn't miss. That's the truest thing that'll ever come out her mouth. I was entertained by this love triangle. I feel bad that it had to happen at the expense of somebody else's feelings, even if it's Laura's. But, like, we all wanted to see it, okay? The Love is Blind is nothing without the disrespectful tea. And they just so happen to give it to us. So, yeah, not the realest thing you ever said, but the truest thing you will ever say. I just feel like Jeremy and Sarah Ann just seem to lie to themselves a lot and then, like, believe their lies. And then whenever they get any pushback, it's just kind of like, well, this is my reality, so I don't understand what you're saying. So we're going to, like, do the thing of just kind of apologizing, saying, oh, what we did was wrong. But then kind of going back, I can imagine them going back, like, to their house and being like, man, that was such BS. Like, we didn't deserve any of that. Okay, we get this crazy monumental moment where Trevor comes out and not Tiffany just being like the whole entire audience. Hold on, I'm so sorry. I don't even know if I'm recording. Thank God. Okay. For a minute, I just had to see for myself. Tiffany sips her drink. She's like, and then everyone's like, everybody, the guy who had a girlfriend, Trevor. And they share the texts. It's insane. Whenever you watch a TV show like this and like internet tea spills onto the TV show, typically it's like redacted or it's not, like covered as good, and you have to like kind of go on the back end and go to like Reddit. I don't like looking at Reddit for like certain things because I just feel like it's like, I don't know. There's so many things that could be misconstrued. There's so many things where people are like projecting and it's not like factual or like objective. But the fact that they show these texts is like very powerful of the internet to spill into reality TV. I loved it. I love that moment. I was just so uncomfortable after the texts were read, and I think it was either Nick or Vanessa that said, "Explain yourself," and Trevor's just sitting there like, I mean, you almost feel bad for him. I don't feel bad for him at the end of the day, because it's like you made your bed, lie in it. Like, it's uncomfortable to watch you freeze so badly, but also like you're not gonna try to pull the like sympathy, like, oh, I don't know what to say. This is like, I didn't know I was gonna be in this position. Like, what the heck? So he lies and says, we weren't dating. Like, that person and I weren't dating. Men will say anything to just get out of a situation. It's insane. Let me not just say men, okay? Like, some of the women are like trash this season too. But I feel like specifically the people on this season are just some next level of sociopath. And then he says, listen, we weren't close. We weren't even dating. We were close, but we weren't even dating. But let me just say those texts were wrong. Like, in a roundabout way, just kind of is like, I don't know her that well, but yeah. And then Nick is like, well, because it's weird because he doesn't deny the fact that those are his texts. But then it's like, Nick is saying, wait, but you're like telling that person that you love them. And he's like, we were like toxic though. We were toxic. And I even told everybody, about the situation that we were toxic. And if I was going to find somebody, it would have been real. And then Nick's like, but you said you were going to marry her. And Trevor's like, ooh, you got me there. But we were toxic. And if I found something better, I would have left her toxic. Okay? It's like, me and Nicholas were like this. Like, what do you mean? You were like, you said you're gonna get married. I don't know. It just is so weird. Like, it was so uncomfortable to watch. Like, it's hard to watch somebody who was so likable on the show just become ridiculously disgusting. Like, it's just borderline psychopathic. I was gonna say sociopathic. I don't even know the difference. But it just was bonkers. Because when he is like, can I leave? We're like thinking, that's the only way that this can be mended, really. Like, is if you get up and go. But at the same time, don't, because we need the tea about this. Okay. The silence after he left was deafening. There was no clapping. There was not even booing. There was just, I can't believe that happened. Everybody's just like, I think I would have loved to be in this audience. Oh my god. Can somebody let me know how you get into these audiences? Oh my god. Let me try to just put that in my little vision board. Just one day I'm gonna see a Love is Blind reunion. Yeah. I was like, no, I do want that. Okay, we go on to Clay and AD. They didn't talk after their failed wedding, of course. Clay reached out first after somebody asked, like, so who reached out first? AD goes, duh, he reached out first. AD, be so for real. Nobody would be shocked if you said, I reached out first. I just wanted, like, you're not this person who's, like, above reaching out. Like, you are the person who is ignoring red flags, going on dates with Matthew after he showed, like, that was also insane. We'll get to that later, but that was insane. The fact that AD and okay, honestly, like, I was gonna rehash everything, but just like, okay, Clay goes off on a tangent about how great AD is, AD's like, what the heck am I supposed to do with that? And we as the audience are like, what the heck is she supposed to do with that? Because you just keep saying like, I'm working on myself and blah 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 blah. I'm gonna be good one day. Like, she's the love of my life. Okay, like, okay. And then I also wanted to know what the heck happened between that year. I understand like, oh, they reached out after the failed wedding. Everything happened. Well, not everything happened. They reached out of the wedding. Clay's working on himself. He said he would still date AD. AD's like, no comment. You would date him. I just don't think that she wants to admit it. But like, have you guys been seeing each other? Have you guys dated at all? Have you attempted to do something? What, like, there's been a whole entire year that has passed after this. I would like to know, the audience would like to know, Nick and Vanessa, please keep learning how to do your job so that we don't have to look further into these people's social medias to figure out what the heck is going on and what the heck happened between the year that has passed. What the heck? No, yeah, as much as I blame Clay for just being like stringing her along, literally like falling into struggle love, he was honest, and I will say that, and I'm happy that he gave Brett his flowers, for just saying like, listen, I want to be a husband like that. That is this strong example of a Black man showing up and how to be a partner. Like, I really love the fact that they're like showing that Brett is like the person to be. By the way, okay, so we get into questions from the old cast, and Jimmy this whole entire time, I should have said this earlier, looks angry. Like, whenever he's answering the questions, whenever, like, anything is going on, he just looks like, I don't know if it's the beard or what the heck, but he just does not look settled. This whole entire season, like, even when he was fighting with Chelsea, he looked like a little bit, like, a little deer in headlights-ish, a little, like, off, a little bit, you know, kind of, he has, like, a blank expression, but it was, like, this reunion that I felt like we saw emotion from him for the first time. I don't know. So Chelsea asks, what's her name? Jessica, did you let Autumn watch the show? Surprisingly, Jessica's like, yeah, I did let her watch portions. I think she said portions. And, it was the first time that she actually saw me cry. I thought that was really heartfelt. Let's just be real. Jessica, I think, is gonna be, like, the star of this show. She's gonna be the one to, like, actually come out and do things. And go on other shows, become a real housewife, like make a little reality empire for her and her daughter. I really think that's gonna happen. Gigi, as they call her, who is calling her Gigi? We know her as Giannina. Asks, were condoms not an option to Amy and Johnny? He just says, I was just uneducated. If that is not proof of the American school system just failing people, wow. Well, I mean, honestly, we don't know anything about his like education. He could have been homeschooled, which would make a lot of sense if he was like a homeschooled like Christian. I could see that and be like, I didn't know. Like, I just assumed women just go on birth control, you know. Yeah. Alexa asks about the conversation between Jessica and Laura. He asks Chelsea how she felt about that. Chelsea just says, I didn't like it, you know, like we all know I'm sensitive. And also, could we please get more out of Chelsea? We didn't get any, I know I already led with this, but the fact that we absolutely got nothing. I was telling my husband every 2 seconds at the very end, like, is this all we're gonna get? Is this all we're gonna get? Because that was stupid. I was like, I was even thinking, like, there must be a part 2. This cannot be it. So Micah says to Jimmy, what does your friend think about your secret being aired out? That uncomfortable, because Jimmy, yeah, I feel like he was trying to, like, play it cool and be like, it's like, it's all good. But yeah, my friend's really pissed off at me. But I mean, that's at least in my, you know, it's, like, weird the way that he brings something up that's kind of real, and then he's, like, plays it off as, like, a joke. I mean, yeah, I bet I'm pretty pissed. I want to know about the fallout between that. I just wanted to know so much about Jimmy and Chelsea, and I don't want to look at their social media. I'm going to, but I don't want to do it. So, basically Nick and Vanessa are like, anybody else think that it was bad on Chelsea's part? Anybody else pissed off at Chelsea? And nobody answers, because convinced that everybody's afraid of Chelsea's wrath. I think that people do not want to mess with Chelsea and do not want to say, like, that was mad disrespectful, because Chelsea's going to be like, is it? Is it mad disrespectful? You know what? Disrespect. She's going to, like, read you to filth in an uncomfortable, not read you to filth in like a, oh shoot, you're just going to be uncomfortable at the fact that, like, you said something against Chelsea. And then maybe she was just likable enough to everybody that maybe, like, they don't want to be on her bad side in the way that they're like, I mean, she's cool enough. I don't really want to, like, bring this up because she's, like, fine in my face. So, it just, like, it's also weird because I assume that Chelsea and Jimmy were together because they were holding hands, but that could also just be, like, a calming thing. I don't know. So they questioned Jimmy and Jess. Also, why did we get more about Jimmy and Jess's friendship ending than we did Jimmy and Chelsea? I'm sorry, I'm gonna keep going back to this stupid thing where they didn't show Jimmy and Chelsea. So they questioned Jimmy and Jess about their connection and everything. It must be weird to have a conversation about something that happened a year ago. Must be really odd. Jimmy says, I don't need to say anything, but she's gorgeous, because I think it was brought up, like, what did you see? Did you choke when you saw her? He says, she's gorgeous. I wanted to be in Chelsea's head so badly. After he keeps answering these things, he's like, she's gorgeous. We did have chemistry, you know, like, she was my number. Like, and Chelsea's just like, the whole time, just like, it's so weird. I'm so annoyed at the fact that they didn't ask her further about that. Jessica has a tape with Jimmy about an interview that he did, because he said that she stormed out 10 minutes after. It was not 10 minutes, it was like 50, which we got the confirmation. And I just kept noting, like, Jimmy looks angry, bro. Jimmy, I think mainly because Jimmy's, like, upset at the fact that he got really embarrassed on TV. He got really like, there was not a moment where you looked at Jimmy and you were, like, envious of him. Like, it was all hard to watch. And if he is with Chelsea, I can imagine it's, like, difficult being on this season. Oh my god, I can see why I'd be angry, but it's also like, can somebody just clarify what's going on? We see Ken and Brittany, which, if you have heard about the back end tea, apparently, and I don't even know if this is real, because, like, I didn't even hear it, I didn't see it from, like, Ken or Brittany's mouth. I just heard it amongst, like, rumors that happened on the show, but it's like, why not? I don't know, I feel like it's only reliable when it's, like, verified. But, like, apparently they were, like, made to break up, and that whole breakup wasn't as bad as it seemed, and, like, the phone usage wasn't as bad as it seems, but it's like, we only have to go off what the screen shows us, what Netflix shows us. But basically, I thought that Ken and Brittany were gonna drop some tea about, like, we actually were really good, we were pretty amicable up until the end. I think it got played out to be a little bit more dramatic, but even if they did say that, honestly, Netflix would have just wiped it, and we probably won't know what the heck actually happened, because it's weird that Ken and Brittany are so friendly, because it almost seems like that whole thing just, like, never happened, and they just, like, split in a much better way than we saw. I just was hoping they were gonna drop some tea or something, because literally all we saw was, like, yeah, I'm gonna try to use my phone less, but you know I'm a principal, so I'm on the ground all the time, and, like, I miss my family. We were looking for something. So we get into the Matthew, AD, and Amber footage. Could that not have been dropped earlier? Could that not? Because we were feeling, okay, we said the same thing. We were only hearing it from Amber's perspective, but we got to see it. It's weird that AD, whenever Matthew gets brought up, says that she went on a few days with Matthew. It, like, it just made me so uncomfortable. I hated the fact that she was talking about it in, like, a giggly way. I thought maybe she brought it up and was, like, entertaining it to make Clay jealous, because in that moment it did seem like it. But it was also like, ew, none of us like him, bro. None of us like him. He's a little bit sociopathic looking. The way that things ended with you, like, stand up. Stand up! Like, I just don't understand how you're so proud of getting with Matthew. Ew. What? No, yeah. there are like some other questions asked at the very end. We're catching up with people. Jessica's gonna be on Perfect Match. Micah's gonna be on Perfect Match. Is it like Izzy gonna be? Cool. Cool. I'm a victim to watching Perfect Match because I love the tea, unfortunately. But like, I just wanted to find out about Chelsea and Jimmy. You're gonna hear me say it again, okay? I want to find out about Chelsea and Jimmy. I wanted to hear what happened with Clay and AD and like what the heck happened within the year. I hated that. I'm not gonna recap the fact that I'm recapping. This is stupid. This ending, as most Love is Blind endings, are always like, no, right. That makes sense that I'm a little bit annoyed with everybody because these are people that signed up for a reality TV show based off a silly, ridiculous little premise that is not based in a lot of success. And you know what? As Sarah Ann has said it, they did it. They did their jobs and they entertained us. So as much as I am a little bit upset, and annoyed, I was entertained. Are you not entertained? Yeah, that's been a great season. I loved keeping up with everybody. I loved making videos on this. If you want to see, I have post videos. I have past videos on Love is Blind season 6. I recapped pretty much each and everything that I could of the whole entire season. I will be recapping Love is Blind, The Ultimatum. I stopped at The Bachelor. Let me know what the heck you thought. I thought it was insane, and I'm a little bit disappointed. Yeah, that's all I have. I hope you have a good morning, afternoon, or night.